bromate-free, all-purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Sun and Main Road, Canoopia.
وامنح الناس حبك بيض الله قلبك بيض الله قلبك كن سموحا لخصمك تلقى خصمك أحبك بيض الله قلبك بيض الله قلبك.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVIF systems and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil kareem. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa nabiyyina wa habibina wa shafi'ina wa maulana Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. My dear respected sisters and brothers in Islam and in humanity, may the peace and blessings of Almighty Allah be with you and members of your family as we bid you Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome once again to another edition of Our Jamaats, Our Land here on IBN Channel 8. This is a weekly presentation seen every Sunday morning at this time and replayed for you on a Saturday morning also at 11 o'clock, where we seek to pass on inspirational messages and important pieces of information to all Imams and all Jamaats throughout Trinidad and Tobago. As you know, there are over 100 Jamaats in our country, and we firmly believe that if we all follow the same ideology, the same beliefs and the same practices, one day, inshallah, we shall all be flying under the same flag of La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. We say Alhamdulillah, all praise and thanks to Almighty Allah who continues to keep this station on air for the benefit of the Muslim community here in Trinidad and Tobago and wherever this broadcast is seen or heard. In this regard, we have to salute and thank Brother Insha and Ishmael, Brother Hasib Majid, and all members of staff here at IBN who continue to work very hard to ensure that this station remains on air every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year for so many years, dealing with the deen of Almighty Allah and bringing people together for the cause of Islam here in Trinidad and Tobago. Your reward is with Almighty Allah. We also have to thank those of you at home, as well as our financial supporters, our advertisers, and all those who support this station in one way or the other. May Almighty Allah accept your sacrifices and grant you Jannah, inshallah. As we always do, brothers and sisters, at the top of our program, we take a look at our Islamic calendar. And when we do, we see we have just started the month of Rabiul Akhir, only a couple days into that month. And this month of Rabiul Akhir should continue until the 29th of Rabiul Akhir. Is expected to be on Thursday, the 24th of November. When we look out for the new moon on that evening, we should be able to see the moon, which will indicate the end of the month of Rabiul Akhir and the beginning of the month of Jumadil Awal, which will be on Friday, the 25th of November, inshallah. So we're getting closer and closer to the month of Ramadan for this year. Preparation should begin by now, and the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The companions of the Prophet would start months before to prepare themselves and their family and their Jamaat for the holy month of Ramadan. So it's not too soon to start to think and to talk about the month of Ramadan, inshallah. So what do we do on our program today? Last week, we had as a special guest Haji Nizam Mohammed, former first vice president of the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association, and he was here to tell us about some changes and the happenings within the ASJA for very special reasons. As you know, brothers and sisters, the ASJA, the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association, is the single largest Muslim organization in Trinidad and Tobago, with an organization that spreads in practically every Jamaat in our country. But they are going through some changes and some new looks and some new desires of members of the executive and of the membership as large. So today on our program, we want to continue with our discussion with Haji Nizam Mohammed on ASJA's agenda for reform. And we also have with us today the Imam of the Santa Cruz Jamaat, who is from Region A of the ASJA, Imam Hafiz Khan. So we bid Assalamu alaikum to these two gentlemen. Welcome again.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Haji Nizam, how has this past week been since we talked?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We say alhamdulillah that we are able to come back and join with you once more, brother, on this all-important exercise that we are undergoing at present. We have had extremely positive feedback from our last program, and I am amazed about the fact that so many people are unaware of the state of crisis in which the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat has found itself. And between last week and this week, I am convinced about one thing, and that is the need, or rather the urgent need, for us to communicate with as many Jamaats as possible and all the regions within the structure of the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association, and make our membership aware of what is happening and what needs to be done. And I'm happy that we are blessed with the opportunity to join with you once more to continue the discussion.
Okay.
Last week I told you that the outcome of a current High Court action has resulted in the putting together of a Constitution Review Committee, because the Anjuman is not sure of what their constitution is. And there is an ongoing argument as to which constitution is being used and when it ought to be used. So what we have done is we have established this committee. Friday or Thursday last, I sent an email to the other lawyers, and I asked them for their concurrence in letting the public know about the composition of the committee. Unfortunately, I did not have a response from them as yet. Hopefully, inshallah, in the coming week, if I get the green light from them, I would post the names on our chat, which is called the Agenda for Reform chat, and which we are encouraging people to join. A number of people are joining. And also to announce that the committee on your program. So you see, there is where we are at with respect to the Constitution Review Committee. And I do not want to sidestep the other lawyers, because all of them had an input in putting this committee together,
Inshallah.
all of them, so that the executive, through their lawyers, the current executive, who are the defendants in the High Court case, through their lawyers, they have nominated people on that committee, and so too are the litigants. 3 of the members of the executive whom I represent as a party in the High Court action, and also one of the surviving trustees out of the 2, one has passed on, Brother Ishmael Mohammed. His lawyers also had a say in this matter.
Okay.
So I do not want the lawyers to feel that I am upstaging them in anything. I would love for them to concur with me and to agree that we should let the public know about the committee and the details of the committee, the terms of reference, and all of that. I think, inshallah, that will take one of your entire program, you know, to talk about the terms of reference, etc., when that time comes.
Inshallah.
So I hope that that is going to come very soon. I had proposed that when we were through with the establishment of this committee, that we would have had a general assembly of the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association, all imams and as many delegates as possible from the various Jamaats. Unfortunately, I did not get the support. So we cannot have the kind of spirited launch of this committee as I had anticipated. But be that as it may, we have written to the chairman designate of the committee, and we have asked him to meet, if he would be kind enough to that he and his committee members would meet with all the lawyers and the litigants, all the parties to the litigation that is before the High Court, so that we can have an initial discussion as to how we can assist in the establishment of the logistics for the efficient functioning of this committee. And more than that, we are really relying on your program to generate interest amongst the Jamaats, so that members will come forward and make suggestions and recommendations to the Constitution Review Committee. And we are prepared to help whoever would like to do that once they are interested in doing that. So that is what the field work is about at this time.
Well, Hafiz, what's your take on the present situation within the ASJA?
Generally, I think it needs the reform that we are looking to try and get. To get specific at this time, I think we have a number of different areas. You know, as Nizam mentioned, we do have a group, a WhatsApp group. And in that particular group, we got to get some feedback. There was one question that came up on that group by a member of the group. And he asked, and it appeared to be to deride the members who brought this thing forward. And in my mind, I think it's something that we need to probably be thankful for them for. And the question he asked is, these members were part of the executive. For a long time, they were there, involved. And how it is now that they have decided to come up with this thing. And he's suggesting that it's sour grapes, that they probably didn't get elected or something was questioned about them. And so, as Nizam said, one was a trustee and first vice president. The other one was the secretary for a number of years. The other one was an executive member. And one also was a long-standing, he was there and he had left, became dormant for a long while. And he came back on and see that when he realized the kind of lack of proper governance, lack of transparency, lack of accountability that is being done at the level of the executive, he felt that he needed it. So, you know, the Prophet ﷺ told us that if we see something that is wrong, it's happening, we first need to try to fix it with our hands. Then if we can't do that, speak about it. And if you still can't do that, then hate it in our heart, which is the weakest form, right? So these guys were in there and trying to fix the thing, because that's why they went there. If they went there and they see things wrong, you try to fix it. And this is what they were doing. But when they have tried to the extent that they feel that nothing will happen, then they... So, you know, in most government or organization, we find that those at the top also get involved in that lack of transparency. And we look to whistleblowers. And these are recognizing throughout the world that we need whistleblowers to help tell us the kind of corruption and bad practices that are going on in any part of the world and any type of organizations. So these guys were there, and they have decided to come across now. You know, another aspect from Islamic history, we know, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there were people who fought against him at Badr, Uhud, Khandaq, right? But they eventually became Muslims. The Prophet didn't say, well, why don't you come in now? You know, why you becoming a Muslim now after your fight with? He was glad that they came, because that's our objective, to get things right. So if those who are thinking that these guys who are now on the right path, we should say, Alhamdulillah, that we have been given the opportunity because of these guys' bravery and uprightness to now at least come out. So we have ample evidence of what has been happening wrong, and we now have an opportunity to fix it. And this is what we are about. Now, another thing that we have found is that there are some who are saying, you know, these guys have been ASJA a long time, and now they don't want to come, they're looking for position. None of us on the agenda for reform want any position. We have reached the age where we feel that we might be going just now, and we feel it's our obligation. We would not want to see this sort of important organization that would chart the way for Muslims in Trinidad, right? We feel that we have an obligation to fix it and leave it operating right, right?
And this is what Quran says about that kind of situation in which everybody knows the Anjuman has found itself. Quran says if two parties among the believers fall into a fight, make ye peace between them. But if one of them transgresses beyond bounds against the other, then fight ye all.
That's right.
All, the one that transgresses, until it complies with the command of Allah. But if it complies, then make peace between them with justice and be fair. For Allah loves those who are fair and just. And that is the foundation. And that is the nucleus of our thrust, my brother. We are going out there and we are telling the people, are you satisfied? Are you convinced that there has been major transgressions for the past 20 years in the Anjuman? Are you convinced that the Anjuman is now a skeleton of what it was? Are you convinced that the present executive is completely estranged, divorced eventually, actually, distant from the rank and file membership of the Anjuman? Some of them are strangers to us, and they hold the highest positions. If you are convinced about all of that, then you, as a Muslim, you are under an obligation to join those who are coming forward to put those wrongs right. And we have to have a legal framework, which is the Constitution, based on Quran and Sunnah. Maulanas are warning me. See you all writing a new constitution. We hope that you all are writing a constitution based on Quran and Sunnah. I want to assure those Maulanas and our other listeners that we have people of the highest competence and caliber in that Constitution Review Committee who would ensure that Quran and Sunnah will be reflected in the provisions of a constitution, inshallah, that they will come up with.
You are viewing on IBN TV. This is a special presentation, the agenda for reform on the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association. This morning, we have as our guest Haji Nizam Mohammed, former Vice President of the ASJA, and we also have with us Brother Hafiz Khan of the Santa Cruz Jamaat. We shall be opening up our telephone lines, and you can call us if you are a member of the ASJA and you would like to voice your opinion on what is happening in the ASJA right now. You can call us at 645-4426 or 663-8373, and we shall be more than happy to answer your concerns about what is happening within the ASJA. Now, Haji Nizam, this is a very touchy and delicate issue. We have presently the executive of the ASJA. They were elected in 2018, I believe.
Yes.
So how long would they be
I think
appointed
it's
for?
a 4-year
So
term.
an election is due?
An election is due within the next few months.
Okay. And within the constitution right now of the ASJA, and there's supposed to be some assemblies.
A meeting of the general,
yeah.
you have biannual meetings of a general assembly, which is the general body of the Anjuman.
And when
Since
was
that election, they had one, I understand, and no other general assembly. No reporting to the general assembly.
Okay.
Right? No audited accounts for umpteen years.
And that's been going on like that?
And that has been going on like that. We don't understand in this country what is happening in the larger politics of the country. There is a very strong lobby. There is a very strong lobby on the outside there that wants to do away with the Concordat. And when you do not comply with audited accounts to show how government money is spent when they give you money to work on the schools and so on, you run the risk of feeding or providing ammunition for those who want to interfere with the Concordat. The denominations in this country of the various religions in Trinidad and Tobago, they have done human service by working in partnership with the state to provide education at the various levels, nursery, primary, secondary. ASJA has done a great job and provided opportunities for Muslims to attend these schools and to work in these schools. And the way that these schools are being managed today, right? One of the things that we are insisting on is to save the name of the ASJA, and we want accountability. Millions and millions and millions of dollars was spent. Government's money, the taxpayers' money was spent and not properly accounted for. And that is something we want a new administration to pursue to the hilt, to save the name of our organization and the name of our dean, right? And right now, they are groping in the dark. I am telling you, no one listening to us out there can tell us that they are happy with the leadership of the Anjuman insofar as the dynamism of leadership is concerned. That the leadership is out there and the leadership is leading in a dynamic and in a very influential way, and that they are proud of that kind of leadership. I just want to make this one point. What they are working on assiduously is the monarchical system of succession, the Shiite system, which caused the big split immediately after our beloved Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace, departed this life, the Shiites and the Sunnis, right? And the Shiites, they are the ones who push this monarchical system. Father is gone, son must follow.
Yeah.
And money plays. And we are very open about these matters. We are coming on television and we are telling the people, if the people do not understand that it is their personal responsibility, the Muslims in this country, to get together with the leadership of the Agenda for Reform and push this to the extent that we find ourselves in a renewed position of proper and respectable administration, Allah will be our witness.
Inshallah. But Hafiz, you wanted to...
Yeah, at the last AGM, one of the AGM specifies what ought to happen is the laying of reports, secretary report, financial report, right? None of those things were done at the last AGM. They called an AGM and just went into election. No report, absolutely no reports were laid. And when you ask, no answer.
Yeah.
Total disdain for the membership.
So how does the executive of the Anjuman, the Anjuman Sunatul Jamaat, if, for example, elections are due this year, how would they inform members? Just through the imams?
No, they would write the imams. They don't notify the public. They doesn't seem to have a contact with the general public. So everything worked through the imams. The imams then have to either inform his membership, and the imams are delinquent in that extent. They get 4 people who they want, and they go to the meeting.
Yeah.
So there's not a system of dissemination of information from the executive to the general body. And this is what has closed off a lot of ASJA members from getting involved. We have the amount of high quality professionals we have within the Muslim community who are young, right? And would be willing to get involved in helping the community and the organization that we have to help them grow and build in every sphere of management. And all these people are left out.
Yeah.
And guys who have not been able to function at a high level, corporate level, or governance level, those are the ones who end up in the ASJA at the high level. So they reach their Preta principle, and then they don't know what to do after.
Yeah. Remember, brothers and sisters, if you would like to call us here at IBN to talk to Haji Nizam or Brother Hafiz Khan on any matter relating to the ASJA or the ASJA Agenda for Reform, you can call us at 645-4426 or 663-8373. So many things happening in Trinidad and Tobago that the leadership of the ASJA is needed, and we're not getting that kind of leadership.
That's right.
That is another very important point that you have touched on. We, the Muslims, have the formula. We have the answers to the burning questions that plague this nation. We want platforms to go and put forward the Islamic position, and people will listen to the Muslims. Over the years, the sweat and the tears and the hard labor of our predecessors, my dear brother, they brought a lot of respect to the Muslim community, and that is going down the drain, and we have to stop that kind of hemorrhaging. We have to come back. The country needs the Muslims.
I know, Jamal, I remember my grandfather, he was involved in the... And where there were any problems around, the ASJA used to send him. In fact, I know they sent him to Suriname, to Guyana when they were having problems with Muslim issues, to help act as a mediator. Even in Trinidad, I think they had some issues in beach. Those are the kind of things that we need to be doing.
Yeah.
We look what we had when we had the issue with the Rasta City and Muslim City. We, the Muslim Roundtable at that time, met with the Rasta, the head of the Rasta organization, and we met with them. And you want to take that?
Yes, we have a call on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Where are you calling us from?
Prishal.
Any question you have for Haji Nizam or Brother Hafiz Khan?
Either one would do. Anybody. Or Mr. Mohammed.
Any questions for Haji Nizam?
It could be anyone.
Go ahead. Go. You ask your question.
Yes, sir. My question is, I used to be, quite a while ago, with the TIA board, and I hardly hear anything about the TIA board again because I'm not with them, I'm retired. So I would like to know if they are affiliated with the ASJA or if they're anyway or active or whatever.
The three major Muslim organizations we have had over the years, sister, are the TIA, the TML, and the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association.
Yes.
And they remained separate. They have their separate schools, etc. But
Yeah.
the astute leadership that we have had in all three organizations, we have had very close collaboration.
Yeah, babe. A second. Okay, see you later. Sorry. See you later, Mama. Okay, be safe. Yeah, okay. Yes, sir, go ahead.
And cooperation amongst the leadership of these organizations and the masjids of the TIA and the masjids of the Anjuman and the masjids of the TML, they were like one. And,
Yeah.
and it really didn't matter.
But now,
Now, I do not, the Anjuman is not in a position to assist in the way that it assisted in the past, and that is why we are advocating a kind of dynamic leadership to take over the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association. And there are people out there who are not involved. We want them to become involved, both ladies and men and young people, to get involved in the Anjuman and become active at one level or another so that we can have a revival within the Anjuman, and the Anjuman will be of assistance and we'll be able to take that leadership role to pull the TIA and the TML together as well. And other organizations. That is what, you know, all believers are brothers and sisters, and we belong to one ummah. And the things that have us separate are very, very minimal, and we can always work around those things. So we want to do this thing with a great deal of love and understanding, and in conformity with the spirit that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace, has told us about, and as to how we must conduct ourselves in this particular exercise.
Could I just add, in terms of the TIA, the current chairman of the president of the TIA, I think, is Imran Husseini. And they have a board that they operate. But I think they kind of focus on the schools that they have to administer at this point in time. In terms of Jamaats, I don't think they have any Jamaats today, right? So they were mostly, now the TIA was the first organization, Muslim organization that we had. And from that, the ASJA came, and there are reasons for what happened. I mean, I could tell you the history, but when the TIA was formed, subsequently they decided to send a scholar, somebody to study in India, so which would have been the first scholar coming down here. And when he came back, it was Haji Ruknuddin realized that he was teaching something that was contrary. And it was only realized afterwards that they had sent him to an Ahmadiyya school.
Qadiani.
Yeah. And it was at that time then Haji Ruknuddin realized what was happening, and that's how the ASJA was formed.
Yeah. Out of the TIA.
Right. And then the TIA had property in St. Joseph and one in Bicester Street in Escoro. And subsequent, when that was found, I think there are another bunch who realized that the problem with the Qadiani, and they separated also. And they agreed that one would take Bicester Street and one would take...
Yeah, but all of that was water under the bridge.
That's right. So I just want to give us all history.
Water under the bridge.
But you could probably check Imran. I have his number, you could probably...
Okay. This is our Jamaat Awalan here on IBN Channel 8. It's time for us to take a break. Stay with us. We shall be right back with the agenda for reform with the ASJA. Stay with us.
At Extra Foods, we care for you. That's why we always have the widest varieties, the best prices, spacious aisles of total convenience, plus clean, safe surroundings. Let us care for you. Extra Foods, always extra for less.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Cunupia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Sun and Main Road, Cunupia.
الناس حبك بيض الله قلبك بيض الله قلبك كن سموحا لخصمك تلقى خصمك أحبك بيض الله قلبك بيض الله قلبك.
This is our Jamaat's Our Land here on IBN Channel 8. This morning on our program we have two distinguished members of the Muslim community, Haji Nizam Mohammed, former Vice President of the ASJA, and Brother Hafiz Khan, who is the Imam of the Santa Cruz Jamaat. And this morning on our program, we are discussing the agenda for reform within the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association, the largest single Muslim association in Trinidad and Tobago. If you want to call us with your opinions on this matter, what you think should be the way forward for the ASJA, do you like what is happening? Give us a call at 645-4426 or 663-8373. Now, people are saying that we are coming live on television to talk people and to ill-speak people. Do you have anything to say about it, Hafiz?
Yeah, I think we have to differentiate between washing dirty linen in public and building awareness. I think that is one of the things that the executive has strived on, right? This secrecy thing. I know we have government who make contracts that confidentiality, and they're doing the wrong thing and hiding behind that. And it's the same thing. I mean, from the Islam teaches transparency, right, and accountability. And an Islamic organization should have absolutely nothing to hide from its membership.
Yeah.
Right? So there are those who think along those lines in terms of we talking about things and throwing perhaps a bad light on things. We are not doing that. We are trying to enlighten those who have the authority to do the right thing. And in doing the right thing, it can't go wrong.
Yeah. Well, what has been the level of contact between the present executive of the ASJA, the president and the secretary, and other members of the executive with this agenda for reform?
Well, you want to take that away?
I know that they are aware of the activities of the agenda for reform, because we have not done anything in secret, and we have a chat on WhatsApp, and whatever we are doing, we publish there in a very free way. But one of my disappointments is that as an attorney involved in the litigation, in the case, I would have expected that somebody from the executive, you know, I mean, Zainul Sarafat is our brother, and he has been put in a position which is a very difficult position, and we appreciate that. But I don't know why that by their silence it signifies some kind of confrontation. But that is a matter for them. The people will decide eventually. On last week's Sunday's program, I mentioned to you that I wrote a letter asking them to come together and join with us in having an emancipation event where we could have had some fellowship and some camaraderie with our Afro brothers and sisters and so on. Nothing went so well, But you should have seen, and I will make that public one of these days if the need arises, the kind of letter that I received from the Anjuman. How it, what they all voted a resounding no to collaborate with us, and furthermore, you are not to use the markers at Charlieville. So we went to Warrenville in a community center, and we did what we had to do for our brothers and sisters, and they were so deeply appreciative, you know. And I know they will come with some excuse, flimsy excuse, oh, they had the 1 year prayers for their late President General, and they had to use the premises and so on. But as I say, it will be a lame excuse. I asked one brother, and I was shocked. One brother from the executive, I said, okay, the executive has declined, that's okay. What about you? Can I rely on you for your help? He says, no, I belong to a team. And I could have fainted when he told me he belongs to a team. I thought he belonged to a team of Muslims of Trinidad and Tobago. What he was telling me is, he used the word team, but I know he belongs to a clique, and it is a handful. Mere handful, and they have made the Anjuman virtually their personal property. And now you just said, they think we are coming on TV to bad talk and so on. We don't have to bad talk anybody. It is a fact that they have hived off big slices of the Anjuman. The ladies, ASJA ladies section is incorporated by a private act of parliament as a non-profit organization. So that is not ASJA, okay? The Haji Ruknuddin Institute, where that goes out, has gone out over the years and collected money in the name of the Anjuman to run the Haji Ruknuddin Institute of Islamic Studies. That has been hived off. And the present owners, I will disclose it on another occasion. I will bring the documentation from the Registrar of Companies and I will show you. And don't be surprised. The youth arm of the Anjuman could well be in the hands of some private organization. I am not sure about that one.
Yeah.
So ASJA, all that ASJA has remained with, and this gets you to the crux of the matter. All they have remained with is looking after the school plans and dealing with government subventions, and they have neglected the Jamaats, and as a result of the neglect and the lack of respect from the seniors in the various Jamaats, the thing has come to nothingness. And there is where we are at the moment.
One of the issues that always come up within the Muslim community is to go and make Hajj. And there have been groups and so on, and group leaders who have the license to take people to make Hajj. But last year for the Hajj, it was a completely different episode.
Well, the Saudi Arabian government, they changed up their system, and we were left out in the open. And those who had licenses and so on, all those licenses were revoked, and they had to go through one brother who is running this organized Hajj trips in New York and so on.
But we did have one group who, MTS and MG, they got a group, but they went through the same system. But just to go back to what you said about in terms of the interaction. Now, with this respect, in the Constitution, and determine which one was right or wrong, right? If this was brought up, it was even brought up to the High Court, and it was asked for. If they had all the documentation that was required, it's a simple case to call in Ismail and say, listen, brother, look, here are the minutes of the meeting. Here is the invitation to the meeting. You must invite people to a special general meeting called for the purpose of amending a constitution. That's what the constitution say. These were the amendments that we sent out. This is the day it was passed. These are the attendance register, all of which in any constitution is required to change the constitution. To solve this problem, all they needed to do that.
And
they couldn't even produce that to the High Court, and that is why the judge decided, right, that look, fellas, this is a national Muslim organization. Rather than looking to get the court to decide, you all could get together and work the things out. But he will only say that if it is that there was a case. If they had come and say, well, these are things here, things done. No contention.
So coming out of our agenda for reform working paper, we have had the establishment of the Constitutional Review Committee. Their lawyers agreed to that, and their lawyers have had equal input as any other lawyers. Lawyers only act in litigation. Lawyers act on the instructions of their clients. They can't act on their own. And their lawyer agreed to the idea that we have in this document to the establishment of a review committee. However, he said under no circumstances will his clients admit that there isn't a valid constitution under which they're operating. Same thing the brother is saying. Tell us what date it was validated, what year, give us the particulars, or provide the court with the particulars, and matter is finished.
But that has not been done.
That has not been done.
And in addition to that, after it was agreed through intense negotiations to form the committee and decided on a committee, accept the personnel that was proposed by different persons, right? When that was done and they were ready to announce the committee, they came up to say that, you know what, before we do this, we are requesting that you all to terminate the legal
withdraw
procedure.
the action.
Yeah.
Discontinue the action, the High Court action. That was a condition precedent to the establishment of this. Now, we had to take months. Since April month, we came up with an agreed constitution committee, you know, since April month. And up to now, we cannot have a first sitting because it is all the haggling that is taking place.
So do you think the work will start?
I think it will start, but they are dragging it on as a part of their strategy.
Is there a time frame?
They are dragging it on as part of their strategy so that they will run out of their term.
So if it is that the executive had the interests of the Muslims at heart, if they had the interests of ASJA at heart, wouldn't they be acting in a reconciliatory manner to sort things out as quickly as possible with the level of transparency that is required? Up to now, as you ask, did they come and talk to anybody? No, as Nizam said, they knew is that every one of them know Nizam. You could have called and said, Nizam, look, boy, you represent these fellas, look how simple this thing is. Or how could we are the ones, Nizam and his other lawyers, have to be at them. You can't get to talk to them. Everything is through the lawyer.
I know of current member of the executive who has on several occasions told Zainul Sarafat, why don't you call the lawyer and talk to the lawyer? But I think the strategy is to run out of the term, but that is why I think this program is so essential.
That's right.
So essential and will be so helpful. When they run out of their term, if we get the kind of feedback and the kind of cooperation we can get at the national level of this Muslim community that comprises the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association, we will insist that we have a proper General Assembly meeting and we have a caretaker executive after their term has expired. And I'm saying it publicly
That's
here.
right.
But the only way we can do that, my brother, is if the people who own the Anjuman are prepared to take back the Anjuman. And that is the big issue that we are facing. That is why, you see, we are going out on a limb. And we are begging and beseeching the people. Look, the brother has mentioned it. It is worth mentioning. Stop saying Nizam Mohammed is looking for power. My days for office have come to an end. but I owe a debt and a duty to the Anjuman, to the Muslim community.
So if you get a notification in the mail tomorrow somehow that there's going to be elections of officers for the Anjuman Sunatul Jamaat Association, what would you do?
Well,
because the 4-year term is coming to an end.
We will suggest trying to avoid the Jahiliya court to make rulings and so on. We will go in a General Assembly and say, let us have an interim caretaker executive pending the production of a constitution.
So why is it, well, I know you explained this, you did not want to disclose the names of the members of the review committee for the constitution, but what are some of their proposed activities, what they hope to achieve and what they want to do in reviewing the constitution, how they want to go about doing it?
There's a call on the line.
We have a call on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Arima.
How can we help you today?
Well, I want to get to the program there with Kamal and them right now and sing.
You mean Jamal?
Okay, we on air. Go ahead, we're listening to you. What's your question?
All right.
Take off the volume on your TV and speak to us on the telephone.
Okay, my name is Nazir Khan, right?
Uh-huh.
Take off what on the telephone?
Your volume on the TV and speak to us on the telephone.
All right. All right. I don't have a telephone. I'm talking on the
Tell
phone
them to
itself.
TV.
Go ahead. Ask your question.
Listen to me. I want to, my question is, I want to know if the president is still Yaqub Ali.
Brother, this is 2022 and Haji Yaqub Ali passed away not too long ago. May Almighty Allah bless his soul and grant him Jannah, inshallah. You must make dua for Haji Yaqub. He has passed away. He's no longer president. The new president is Brother Zainul Sarafat. Okay? Okay, we have just a few minutes before we wrap up our program for today. Uncle Nizam, anything you would like to?
I am grateful that you have changed the format of the program and you are allowing for callers. And I do hope that, inshallah, when we continue with our programs, that we will get callers calling in so that we can get a broader view of how we can approach this task. We don't have all the answers, and we want the involvement of the Muslim public.
Yeah.
And this is what I am concerned about, because too many Jamaats are dormant, and too many Imams have not been fully apprised of this urgent situation that we are facing. We want for Imams to ask us to come and talk to them and their congregations, and we will be more than willing to go. It is an easy thing to arrange. You go Maghrib time, you perform your Maghrib Salat, and you have a short meeting with the brothers and sisters, if sisters are there, and you know, we let them know what is happening. We want to go out there and meet them, but they have to organize and call us. It is the easiest way to do this.
Yeah.
And for the sisters, those who have been ostracized and they have been cut off from the Anjuman and so on, we want them to become more, to become active, because we are giving them the assurance that there will be a place and a rightful place within a newly organized Anjuman in the near future, inshallah.
I would like to hope that the members of the Constitution Review Committee could come on the program.
We will organize that. As I said, as soon as I am in a position to make the names public, and I hope they give me the green light. I do not want to create or give anybody any excuse to add to the delays that have been taking place.
Yeah.
You understand? And that is why I have taken that step to tell them that I want their concurrence. I want to have you advertise the names on your program, and we will do it on our chat, and we will inform the Jamaats and through their imams, etc., etc.
Hafiz, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I think individual Muslims have to understand they have a responsibility. Muslims, every individual have a responsibility to contribute to the development of the Ummah as an individual, right? And in this case, with respect to the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association, all who have been members, who are attached to Jamaats, and the Imam in particular, has to do their particular job in ensuring that the level of transparency and giving out the knowledge of what is happening to be able to mobilize. We see, even at the governmental level, there are a number of issues that impact on the Muslim community, and we don't have that level of interaction to ensure that we are able to have a voice of the Muslim community involved in those things. But it goes right back to the individual. And this is why we are trying to reach out to the individual, so that they will understand their responsibility to come forward and have an impact on what happens at the organization level, at the Jamaat, first of all, at the region, and then at the national bodies.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Haji Hafiz Khan and Haji Nizam Mohammed. The work continues for the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association. If you would like to leave your comments, anything you would like to add to this discussion, please feel free to let us know here at IBN. This program is available to the ASJA, all arms of the ASJA, all members of the ASJA. You're free to come and express your opinion on the future and the new role for the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association in Trinidad. I would like to thank Haji Nizam Mohammed and Brother Hafiz Khan for their presence, and inshallah, things will work out well with the work of Almighty Allah and the help of Almighty Allah. Things looking up and looking well for the Anjuman Sunnatul Jamaat Association.
Inshallah.
So on behalf of Siddiq and Saif and everyone here at IBN, my name is Jamal, signing off and thanking you very sincerely for the pleasure of your company, and we leave you with an invitation to join us next Sunday, when inshallah we shall be back in the studio of IBN for another edition of this program next week Sunday around 11 o'clock. So until then, we bid you adabars, Khuda Hafiz, and Assalamu Alaikum.